this has to be amazing. It's going to be fab, and like think that. I think it just happens. These magic has to be. It just has to happen. You never really know when you're creating it. And with Geet, it was the same thing because I was always shooting. I was shooting Tashan simultaneously. And Tashan was like a really big film because it had Akshay Kumar, it had Anil Ji, it had Saif Ali Khan, and it was a YRF film. Whereas Jab We Met was like, it was more like, it was like we were new, and Imtiaz had done one film, and there were never really any big names attached to it at that point. So I was always like, I'm like Tashan is going to be amazing, and I'm working on this body and going to do my action film, and I would just like come on the set, but my focus was Tashan. But I didn't really know that what was happening, and then Jab We Met just released, and you know, not that Tashan isn't special, but people just love Jab We Met more than that. So when you think that everyone's going to watch this, but everyone watched that. So there was no real plan that it's going to be amazing. I was also a bit like no one really thought that. So it just happens. I think magic should just happen. It can't be planned. I mean, we say it can be created, but it's just
the one. I completely get you because another thing that wasn't planned and it happened and it felt like magic was the whole Sananana trend.
Yeah.
Suddenly
and
the song
like
from
18, 20 years.
And we were all waiting for you to probably do that reel or trend. What did you make of it? Were you surprised?
No, I was just like, oh God. But though, I mean, I think it truly is an iconic song because of the way Santosh shot it. There was something very raw but yet sexy about it. And everyone wanted to see it was like, this quintessential heroine who was, the classic under, the waterfall and being fun, and people connected to that energy, I feel somehow. And I'm so happy that Ashoka is part of the re-release list because it truly is one of my most favorite movies. Because, I mean, I was like, I think 20, and it was obviously my first actual film which I did with Shah Rukh because in K3G I was an opposite Shah Rukh. So for me, Ashoka will have amazing memories, and I think the music, look at it, like you said, the trend. So I think people are going to come to the theatre and going to watch it because the music from Raat Ka Nasha to San Sarana, it was all just, it was so ahead of its time, I think.
Super. A lot of filmmakers that you have worked with, your co-stars, have on record said that, listen, Kareena is spontaneous. Like the camera's on and she's another person and you don't know where that's coming from. I know you cannot ask a magician, ki batao bhai apne tricks. But honestly, I mean, you of course have it in your genes, that's no surprise. But what do you do, especially with your dialogues and your delivery? Because you almost make it your own in a way that today we find it so hard to believe that you're not Pooh or that you are not Geet. How is that possible?
I know I think half the decade went where people thought I was Pooh and like I lived like her and had all these couture clothes and thought that I was so cool and went on, whatever, okay, that's Bebo. Yeah. And then the other half of the decade went on with people, believing like I'm the Bhatinda ki Sikhni.
You never stopped talking.
Yeah, I never stopped talking. But maybe I'm a mix of both, people who know me. Yeah. But I think it's not about that. It's about that, like I said, that I'm so passionate about acting, and also have to credit so many of my directors and the actors who've been so amazing in so many movies. Like whether it was Omkara, also what that's playing at the festival now. I think like Saif was just out of this world, and I had a trial and I called. It's just an instance. Like I called everybody. Like I said, it's such a good performance, so I'm going to call all the directors, from like Mani Ratnam to everybody, all the directors. I'm going to have this trial and call all the directors because I think I've done really well in this movie. So I had this trial in Film City, and everybody was there, of course, Vishal and Coco and Vivek and everyone was there, and Saif was also there. And I was like excited that they're going to watch me as Desdemona because Dolly Mishra is like, she was one of the most. Actually, Shakespeare never really wrote too many female characters, so it was like such a special character. So I, called all the directors and made them sit and said, okay, now this is it. And in an interval, everyone came and was like, yeah, really nice, very nice. we loved everyone, and like Seth was amazing. And then the movie ended, and everyone was like, "You were fab, but where's Seth? Where's Seth? Where's Seth?" And I was like, "What has happened? I got everybody to praise me, and then suddenly everyone just flocked to Seth and was praising
Yeah.
him." But so I have to credit a lot of my films and actors bounce off each other's energy. So I think great films like Omkara or Jab We Met, we've always bounced off each other's energy, whether it was Amir and Three Idiots also. So famous scenes, you need to take from them as well. So I also want to take this opportunity to thank all my actors, in all these wonderful films, whether all of them, because it's just, without them, none of these films, whether it was Omkara, Jab We Met, any of them that's playing Ashoka would not be what it was without them.
Oh, lovely. Since you thanked your co-stars, any plans of coming back with Seth on screen?
Hopefully soon. I would love to work with him. um I mean, right now he's like also going to taste blood because he's start coming for the first time in a Telugu film that's releasing next
Yeah.
week. So I think that people are really excited, so I would love to do something with him soon, hopefully.
Lovely. Niharika, Kareena spoke about how sometimes you just don't know what becomes a trend, and suddenly the whole world is talking about it. It's at least that's the kind of world we live in today. So, what sort of vision goes into when you decide to curate a festival? Like there's so many lineups. There's the Kareena Kapoor Festival, the ANR. What's the vision?
I think, I mean, so like I said before that we really believe in the big screen experience. So I think this recent trend of re-releases doing well is also just very encouraging to us to pull out, any film that we feel will also have that audience. But how India is a very diverse country, our audiences are also very diverse. So we want to do justice to films that everybody wants to watch. So may it be like what happened with Ashoka, like may it be a trend that starts online, and we get a sense from the consumers that okay, maybe this is the film that they want to watch, or if it is simply if it's a celebration, like in the case of ANR, it is a very significant event, so it allows us the opportunity to do something around him. And like in the case with this festival as well, like Buckingham Murders allowed us the opportunity to, because it coincided also with a very landmark moment in her career. It allowed us the opportunity to curate this festival. And the fun part of also curating festivals like this is we're able to find a balance in films that we know people will want to see, like a Jab We Met or a K3G or an Omkara, which has cultivated such a big fan following, but also giving light to films like Kamal mentioned that have gained a lot of support in the online, in the OTT space, or in the television space that may have not done as well before, or may not got their due, but they can have it now. So all those factors we're trying to take into account, but the purpose is to, by the end of the year, have enough films for everybody.
Karina, bringing the conversation back to you, I hate to prefix the term superstar with female, but you definitely have the star power, right? I mean, the energy of this hall changed when you walked in. Um, you, if anybody looks at your filmography, it's an enviable mix, like I said, of just the right balance. The commercial hits are there, the critically acclaimed ones, a few duds here and there, but every time your performance has stood out. And what's also amazing is while you've done like the Buckingham Murder, Chameli, Omkara, but you also have been part of films that clearly center around the male character, the hero, and you've held your own. Uh, I just want to understand what you thought while saying yes to those projects. Because if you wanted, you could have said, "Why should I take the step back? I mean, the story should revolve around me, and I want to headline projects."
I think in 25 years, one has to think of when we were, signing films when we were younger, when we were like 17, 18. It was always about proving yourself, wanting to, just be in every film. And then after come a decade, if you sustain, it's also about the question of reinvention, which is very scary in an industry like this, like male dominated and whatever. But we've, over the years, had a lot of brave actresses as well, apart from me, who've also taken big strides. So while straddling the fact that I've done films with the big superstars and all those are successful films, but I've also had a career which I've simultaneously done to prove myself as an actor. Because I think the longevity of an actor is only possible if they also repeatedly prove their talent. Apart from the X factor that I feel an actor needs to have. And that I believe, I don't know how it is, but I mean, I like to say you either have it or you don't. And that's just the truth of the way it is. X factor combined with talent is going to take you. And of course, 30% of luck.
Yeah.
Luck is also important. But I feel more than that, it's just, it's straddling the fact. And for me, it's always been every 5 years, I've always looked back and said, now what am I supposed to do? To try and do something new. Because it's not about just being there and being part of the successful films. It's about having and leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
And that's what's been, because I do come from a family where I've been challenged and always felt like they're so amazing, but I need to leave my mark somewhere. तो ये longevity नहीं होती अगर वो सोच नहीं होता that कि ये करना है कैसे करना है how else am I going to last otherwise then there would every 10 years there's somebody new but so sustaining it is the main thing and for me that is why I have to have choices of Buckingham Murder at the same time of Singham at the same time of Crew or a film like Johnny Ja on the streaming platform, which I feel that if it would have come in the theaters would have been fab. Which I don't know, I hope it comes. I don't know what the deal
right
is if we
people are
can.
sitting next to you.
Since it was a streaming film. Because I feel it did so well for the streaming platform, it could have done well in the cinema.
You need to have the streaming guys also sitting.
Oh.
They control the rights.
Exactly. So I think that it's just, you have to try and do different things.
Yeah, yeah. Guys, I'm having, like she said, 30% luck. Today I have the 100% luck because I'm, of course, moderating this conversation. But I'd like to open it up to all of you. Do we have questions from my friends in the media? You could raise your hands and we'll ensure you get a mic. Anyone? Can we get a mic here?
Hi, Kareena. Yo. You're right in front. Okay, you are the first female actor who has been honored with a festival. We had people like Amitabh Bachchan who had been honored by a festival. So, when you think about that, is it believable or how grateful do you feel or what did you talk to Seth about it, saying that I can't believe it? How does it feel?
He was extremely happy. He wants to come and watch all the films. he's excited to come. He said, and he loves coming to to PVR and watching movies. And he actually watches most films on Fridays. So when I told him about this, he was very excited. So he wants to do a Umana Shoka for sure. So, I mean, but coming back to your question, I'm just happy that people will get to watch these movies. And obviously, I feel so excited, honored, everything that, I mean, sometimes it's like, I don't know, I have to still figure out what's going to happen for the next 25. That's the scary part.
Sana here from India Today. Firstly, I want to tell you there was a time when the Yahoo Messenger was popular and my password was Kareena Kapoor 1309. That's my birthday. That's the kind of love that people have for you. You rightly spoke about legacy, just standing out in a Kapoor family and doing so well. Of course, your kids are very young right now, but does Taimur has an idea that his mother has a film festival named after her, and what would do you think would they think about having their mom as in a film festival named after their mom?
Right now, they're, I mean, they're, I think, too young to know anything. I mean, he has an idea because of the paparazzi chasing him. So he knows that why
Sound,
are they chasing
sound,
us?
sound.
I think that's why he only knows that he's famous. But he keeps saying that, oh, why are they doing that? Am I famous? I'm like, no, you're not famous. I'm famous. You're nobody. You haven't done anything. So I'm like, you're not. So he's like, maybe one day I'll do it because. But right now in his mind, it's not films. Right now, it's only football. Everything is football. So I hope he will watch some of my films. I'm sure someday. But the minute I can take him away from, you know, a little bit of football, you know how all the boys are at this age. It's
But Kareena, if you have to describe it like a mic or stand career